If you're an emerging leader and you've just been promoted and you want to establish a clear leadership brand in your new position, then you need to watch this video. Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Ronin, and on this channel, I share with you videos around building your leadership brand, visibility, and influence so you can unlock your leadership potential. If this is the first time you're watching this channel, then make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos that I release. And in this video today, what I'm going to share with you is how to reinvent your leadership brand when you are promoted into a new position. Now, this is an exciting time for you. It's really exciting to get promoted. You have more responsibility and of course you earn more money. But it's also a time where you really need to reflect on your leadership brand. Is it still serving you? Is it supporting you in your new senior role? Or is it holding you back? You can't be complacent with your leadership brand. Whenever you're in a transition in your career, say moving from mid-level to senior level or senior to exec level, or even moving from being an employee to an entrepreneur, you need to stop and look at your leadership brand and ask yourself, is it still serving you? And will it continue to serve you in your next stages of your career? So I'm going to go through 5 things you need to do to reinvent your leadership brand when you get promoted. Now, the first thing you need to do is to find out what elements of your leadership brand still serve you. You might not want to completely change or do a complete overhaul of your leadership brand. You may want to keep a lot of the elements that have gotten you to where you are today. And you probably should. You know, it's not about erasing who you are or completely reinventing yourself for a completely new person. That's not what this is about. What I want you to do is focus on the things that still serve you and will continue to serve you as you grow throughout your career. Now, how do you do this? What I often tell my clients to do is to go back through their performance evaluations or any feedback they've received at work. What are the things that they do really well? Okay, and these are probably the things that they should continue to move forward as they grow throughout their leadership journey. Now, you may need a little bit of tweaking. You may need to improve or enhance those skills, which you can absolutely do, but you keep them. You keep them as part of your leadership brand so that they will grow with you in your future career goals and on your leadership journey. It's not about erasing what you've built. It's not about erasing who you are. It's about finding what works for you and growing those, enhancing those things so that they can continue to serve you in your leadership journey. And the second thing you need to do is find elements of your leadership brand that no longer serve you. Now, this is the fun part. But it's also the most challenging part because it requires you to actually look at things you perhaps didn't excel in. Perhaps you got negative feedback on. Go back to those performance evaluations. Go back to the feedback you've gotten from your boss or other managers and find out what are the things you didn't do well. Identify those, and those are the things that you need to change to move forward with your leadership brand. Now, once you've identified those things, you have 3 choices. You can eliminate it, replace it, and the third choice is to tweak it. For example, it could be something very simple like your outfit. Maybe it doesn't align with your level of seniority. As I mentioned in a previous video, I think it was the last video, this is something that I work with my coaching clients on. I up-level their outfits so they actually look like the senior leader that they are. It could be your communication. Maybe you aren't speaking up enough in meetings. Maybe you don't have any experience in having difficult conversations or dealing with difficult situations. So maybe this is an area that you need to look at. Maybe you also need to improve on your networking. So a lot of people, when they're moving up to more senior level in leadership, they avoid networking. It's scary, it's daunting, I know, and I'll probably do a number of videos on networking for you. So remember, we're looking at things that aren't going to serve you in your future leadership journey. You have 3 choices. You either eliminate it, you replace it, or you tweak it. And the third step is to redefine your new leadership brand. So we've looked at what serves you and you want to bring forward. We've looked at what doesn't serve you and you want to either eliminate, replace, or tweak. Now it's time to actually redefine your new leadership brand. And this is also the fun part, the part that I like to go through with my coaching clients. What I usually do is I ask them to write a short biography about themselves, or a narrative. Some people like to call it a narrative. So this is 1 to 2 paragraphs about you. And in those paragraphs, you would talk about who you are, what you stand for, what your values are, what your beliefs are, and it's all about you. And I like to get my clients to imagine that there's going to be a newspaper article written about them in their local newspaper, and they need to write a short biography about them. So that's how I, give them a bit of context for this biography. And it's a really fun exercise, and I encourage you to do it as well, to really help you understand what is your leadership brand now? What do you stand for? Who are you? What impression do you want other people to have of you? What do you want to be known for? It can really help you to create that leadership brand and solidify it in your mind and help you carry it through into the future of your leadership journey. So try that exercise. Let me know how it goes in the comments below. And the fourth thing you should do is communicate your new leadership brand to the world. Now, this is the part where many people stop. It makes them feel uncomfortable because a lot of the time they're moving outside of the comfort zone. They're moving outside of what's comfortable and what they've always known. And this is always difficult for anybody who's ever experienced moving out of your comfort zone. And I'm sure you have experienced that in some way. But when you're reinventing your new leadership brand, you really need to communicate it to the world. Why keep it secret to yourself? How do you communicate it? Well, the first thing I would recommend you to do is sit down and have a meeting with the new people who are in your team. So explain to them the position you now have. Explain to them what is the new level of responsibility that you have. What are the expectations you have of them, and what can they expect from you? This will help give you a good starting point with your team and with your co-workers so that they look at you in a different light. Because remember, it's all about changing the perceptions and the expectations that people have of you. Another idea that I want you to try is to attend higher level networking events. So you're no longer at a more junior level. You're at a senior level now. You have elevated yourself. You need to have that reflected in the types of people you connect with and the types of people you meet. You're not going to meet those people if you continue to go and attend low-level networking events. So I want you to start attending high-level networking events. Go where decision makers, go where your bosses and managers go, and network in those circles. The third idea I want you to try is to make sure that every touch point of your leadership brand communicates your new leadership brand message. Your outfit, is it in line with your new leadership brand? Your communication, is it in line with your leadership brand? Your interactions, the way you interact with your co-workers and clients, is it in line with your new leadership brand? And how about your online presence? Is that in line with your new leadership brand? So remember all of the touch points you need to look at to make sure your leadership brand is communicating the exact message that you want. And that message is the new elevated leadership brand that you've created as a more senior professional. And the fifth thing I want you to do is to monitor the results. This is really important. Is your leadership brand giving you the results that you expected? Are people treating you the way you want? Are people's expectations of you changing? Are you getting access to higher level projects now, whereas you didn't before? Or are you still being blocked for those high level projects because people don't see how intelligent and capable you are? What are the results of your leadership brand? Is it living up to your expectations? Are things happening that you expected to happen? Or is the opposite happening? Are people still treating you like you're a junior level employee? So it's important for you to monitor the results and see whether your leadership brand is actually working for you. And if it isn't, then you may need to go back and tweak some things about your leadership brand. It may not necessarily be defining a new leadership brand. It may be the way you're communicating it to other people. But you need to find out, what's the block there? What's stopping you from not being able to communicate your leadership brand in exactly the way you want and to get the reactions from other people, the exact reactions that you expected would happen or you hoped would happen. So monitoring the results is a really important step that you need to go through. And I'd suggest you probably do this around 2 to 3 months after you have defined your new leadership brand and you've had some time to communicate it to other people, because it's a change, you're changing people's expectations of you. So you need to give them time to catch up and you need to have time to see the results actually change as well. But definitely monitoring the results is a step that you need to take. So there are the 5 things that you need to do when you are reinventing your new leadership brand in a new position. Now, I do want you to remember that changing your leadership brand it doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process. As I mentioned just before, you're changing the perceptions and expectations that other people have of you, and you need time to catch up with it as well. You know, it takes a lot of internal work to change your leadership brand because you are changing behavior, ways you communicate, outfits that you wear, you know, mindsets as well. You are changing all of those things that you've had and you've been using comfortably for a number of years. So it would absolutely take you time to catch up with your new leadership brand as well. So you need to give both yourself time to catch up and other people time to catch up. And one day you'll look around the office and you will realize that people are treating you and seeing you as the leader that you knew you were capable of. Finally, it's happened. Finally, you're getting that recognition that you deserve. I hope you enjoyed these 5 tips for reinventing your new leadership brand. If you did like this video, then don't forget to subscribe. Please hit the like button below and don't forget to share it with your colleagues and friends because remember, it could help them too. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next week.